Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Happy Monday to Peas in the Podcast with myself and the Snake God who will be returning today. Um, today is going to be a really good show. First of all, I'm rolling on energy from an amazing weekend. I'm going to talk a little bit about that. I'm rolling on energy. This is going to be an amazing week. And then Saturday, I'll actually be vending at the Maryland Reptile Show in Havre de Grace. It's going to be my first time doing the one in Havre de Grace. I've done the one in Northern Virginia before. Havre de Grace is one of the ones that I've attended the most. Being a person who was raised in Baltimore, so that was the closest to me. So I'm super excited to do that one, and I'm sure I'll see a lot of my fellow reptile keepers there because I always do when I go. So, first of all, disclaimer: I am not new, y'all. I have on a dress. The screen makes it look that way. So I do have on a dress. Let's start with some. Good morning, Don T. Good morning, Don D. The Don Dada. You already know in my Don D voice. Good morning, Stan. How are you? I think I saw Kara Shea. Good morning, Kara Shea. Yes, happy Monday. Let's get through this week pain-free. Absolutely. Just speaking of that, I just want to remind everybody, I don't know if you're on my personal Facebook page, you probably saw me post this, but a few days ago, my husband and I were sitting in the house. We heard a boom, and we thought, we all come from property management, so we thought it was a transformer blowing or something. A big boom, and then a second boom, and what we believe to be a third or fourth boom. And they wasn't like that, like they wasn't boom, 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 boom. It was like boom. Minutes went by, a minute or so, boom, and then thought nothing of it. We're sitting in the house. My husband goes out, and he calls me on the phone. And he said, "Babe, I don't know what happened, but it got to be really bad. Y'all, we live in a community that is quiet. We're probably one of the youngest people who live in a community. It is a community that was built in 1994, and a lot of people who live around here are retirees, people who love the community, refuse to move, and we always laugh at the only time the community actually becomes active is when it's like Mother's Day or Father's Day. And so their children and their children's children come around. And that's the only time it really becomes active. So anytime something happens around here that actually like produces like ambulance or police activity is weird. So my husband then calls back. He's like, "No, babe, it's really bad. They got Forceville police here. They got the Ram truck here." And I'm like, "Oh, babe, you sure that what we heard wasn't gunshots?" Because then my mind starts to think, because when you shoot guns in different places, it sounds different. It's like, so if you shoot a gun in the basement, it can also sound like a transformer blowing up if you're shooting a high power gun. Or even if you shoot like a 357 or 38, it will sound like a boom. So I told us to just, I checked the news, nothing was in the news. But sadly, later on that evening, we found out that a man had killed his wife. 62-year-old man killed his wife, who was 52 years old, and his 25-year-old son. Initially, it was when they got the report, they was doing a mental wellness check. But of course, by the time the wife was dead in the yard, the neighbor was also shot who went to try to help. And I share this because I've been saying this a lot lately. And I say this to people who call around and, ask people, to be there for them financially, this, that, and the other. Y'all, we live in a time where everybody is fending for themselves financially, physically, mentally, because our government has totally abandoned us. And that's just a fact. I don't care who don't like it. Who don't like it, we are abandoned. I can't tell you what's going on in our very own country. I don't know what's going on. I don't know where we at policies. I don't know. So it's like in that transition from coming from COVID and then changing presidents and everything, these last 2 years for most people has been different, and everybody don't know how to handle struggle. I always said this. At some point in your life, you want to be hopeful that you experience some level of struggle, just so that when you really have to go through things in life, you know how to mentally cope through that. It's one of the things that money can't fix either. When you messed up here, you can't, it doesn't heal anything, right? So this man was former military, and I kept telling my husband, I walked with this couple before. So I walk up and down our neighborhood. If I go up and down my street twice, it's 3 miles. And typically you'll see other people in the neighborhood walking, or they'll walk halfway up my street and go up Aragona, which is like it's like a big hill, which I love. We love the hills around here. But I told my husband when I saw the picture, I said, babe, I've walked with them. Like, and this was a couple, you know, we just walking down the street one day, how you doing, whatever. And we just started walking up the hill together, having a conversation. It seemed like a very happy couple, nothing strange about them at all. And that's why I remember that the husband was in the military. Or he was in the military at some point in his life, because I remember that being a discussion. So I say this. Don't allow the walk of life to destroy you mentally. You have to sometimes isolate yourself into the bucket of things that keep you mentally stable. And I'm not saying happy, because happiness is subjective, but mental stability, you know, when you're at some level of peace. Everybody can identify when they are mentally at peace and when they're mentally at turmoil. And one of the signs is personality changes. Another sign is literally when you can't sleep. When your mind can't rest, you can't sleep. It's opposite for someone like me. When you lack hormones, you can sleep, but you don't dream. It's the weirdest thing. So it's really important to protect your mental stability at this time. And I cannot stress this so much. When you can take two normal people, his wife's name was Roy, his son was a junior. God bless this family. Like, it's just absolutely insane to think that all of that was going on, that's what happened. And at the end of the day, we lost the otherwise mature man and woman who lived their life. And I was just watching, he had posted June 22nd, a happy birthday post to his wife. And it was the most loving, happy birthday post ever. And then here we are 3 months later, and that same individual took her life. And I'm sure it wasn't a situation where he hated his wife, you know? I'm sure it was a situation where he had a mental breakdown. You have to be out of your mind to kill your wife of all these years and your son, who was doing it, Dre. You have to be absolutely out of your mind. But I say that to say that, you know, we all go through some level of where we just need to be conscious of where we are mentally. And you can't pour, I said this before, I think it was about 2 weeks ago on this very same show. You cannot pour into other people when you're not full yourself. And it's okay to say no, can't do that, can't be there, you know, don't want to do this. It's okay to say that, because you have to tap into yourself before you can tap into anything and anybody else. And just always remember that. All right, so enough of that. In good news, I had an amazing weekend. Good morning, Stan. I think I said good morning to Stan right here. Oh, that's right. So this past weekend on Saturday, and for those of you who saw it on the channel, I went back to my hometown where I grew up. So my love for animals started in my community that I grew up in. And I share that it is a community that was built around water. So therefore there was a lot of animals. Hey, Auntie. There's a lot of animals and a lot of different things. Now, my mother told lies, y'all. I ain't never bring no damn monkeys home. I brought a skunk home. but not a monkey. So y'all know I'm scared of monkeys. If I see a monkey anyway, I'm not. Hi, you can hold it, but I'm not going to touch it. So we experienced getting people for years, and like one of the people was Tyrone, which is one of our childhood friends who would never touch a snake, and he made it clear he would never. Even when he came that day, he wasn't touching. He wasn't touching. He was touching it. To see him touch one and carry it for some time was amazing. But there were so many people there who said, you know, oh my God, it's totally different than what I thought. People who went from terrified to total enjoyment. And right, that's the goal, right? To let people see and experience these animals and the way that we visualize them and the way that we see them in our eyes. So it was absolutely a phenomenal moment. I was so elated to see not only my mom come and hang out, but my mom came out. That's her in the pink shirt, and that's two of my sisters. Pam, y'all know, and Teresa. Teresa is one of my older sisters, and that's my mom. She came out. Not only did she can't come out, but she was very engaged with the animals as well. You'll see her right here. She fell in love with Pearl and the corn snake. He was absolutely in love with both of them. That's me, my mom, and my oldest daughter. So y'all know Jada had been sick about a month ago. I back to back my nephew ended up in the ICU from a stabbing, and my daughter was in there from she's still going through it, but she's having pulmonary issues. Ended up in ICU, but you see Jada was there having a good time as well. It was an amazing day. And that's Teron with my sister Teresa holding. He started off with a little ball python, and we worked him up to the berm. So he did hold Pearl. So that was super dope. And that's me, my mom, and my daughter again. So if you want to see all the photos, you can go to my social media or my TikTok. I'm posting different photos at different times because there's so many. This is my nephew. He's holding one of the berms. And right here, I talk about my nephew's situation. That young lady in the green shirt is my nephew's girlfriend, and that's actually who saved his life. She actually put the person who stabbed him in a headlock, that little tiny thing, in a headlock, and was able to subdue him till the authorities came to arrest them. So therefore, that person is captured, and I will always love you for that, cat. Yeah. So Dre, what's been going on? Like, before we go on and get into our subject, what's been going on?
Good morning. Nothing really. Just trying to get some things in order. That's pretty much it.
Yep. All right. So, our subject today, before we get into our subject today of Salmonella, because this also came up because prior to doing this event, I was asked to do some events at school, and I committed to do one of them. And one of the administrators was like, they was concerned that if they were snakes in the school, the kids get salmonella. So I'm gonna get into that conversation after we acknowledge a scripture for Brian. So today I decided to go with a scripture of faith out of Hebrews 11:1, and simply it says, "Now faith is the substance of things hoped for. It is the evidence of things unseen." So faith is hope. And so therefore we just continue that Brian continues to have faith, keep his hope, can keep fighting the way he is, and everybody who is suffering or going through something more, as I say, greater than what some of us are going through. Like I always say, you think you're having a bad day, there's somebody else who's having a way worse day than you are. So we just want to just hope and pray and have faith for all of those people at all times. So just keep that in mind. So Don D said the pictures and videos look great, Nicole. Your brother is a trip. He is a complete fool. I tell you that all the time. He was in red form. He kept claiming that T'Challa was hissing at him. And you know, retics, larger retics, they always are expelling air after they move. Like, so it's like they'll move and then they'll do like It's not a hiss at all. Y'all know what a hiss is. But he claimed that she only did it when he came near her. So to see him pick her up at some point was just hilarious. Because he just went from she's hissing at me to him walking around with us. So that was just again an amazing transition. Our local reptile show had a huge 16-year-old burn to hold yesterday for $5. Yep, I paid it. Yeah, can't knock us. So can't knock us. So you can hold my crochet for free though. So let's get into the topic of salmonella. So I will start with, and again, this information that I'm sharing is not my opinion. We're going to start with how can you get salmonella? So salmonella poisoning. Let's start here because this was the first question. Can you get salmonella from any animal? Absolutely. One of the most common animals you can get it from is chickens, the thing we eat every single day, pretty much. So many animals, especially cattle, chickens, rodents, reptiles, and amphibians can naturally carry salmonella in their intestines and show no signs of illness. People can get salmonellosis. So I would say keep that in mind, but I want you to see in order, especially cattle, and where reptiles fall into this. And then we'll come back to that. And then we talk about how can you get salmonella poisoning. Salmonella is spread by the fecal oral routes and can be transmitted by food and water, by direct animal contact, and rarely from person to person. An estimated 94% of salmonellas is transmitted by food. Humans usually become infected by eating foods contaminated with feces from an infected animal. So I'm going to keep that here. So I am going to type up a letter to respond to this administrator, but I wanted to do it in a very professional way and to educate them that you're dealing with salmonella in your cafeteria every single day. And the reason why your children are not getting sick from it because hopefully you're washing the food, you're properly cooking the food, and you are making sure that your children are washing their hands as they go in and outside of bathrooms and the cafeteria and restaurants and things of that nature. So we handle reptiles all day, every day, all day. Me, myself, and I'll be honest, I don't always, I use gloves 100% with rats just because I just think rats are super nasty. But I don't use gloves all the time with my snakes. Like if I'm in an enclosure and I see poop, I would pick that poop up, go to the trash when I wash my hands. Do I wear gloves when I intently clean? Yes. So if I'm going to clean, I intently wear gloves, and that's more for the animals, not even for myself, because I'm not putting my hands in my mouth in between. So the answer to that is yes, you can get salmonella from anything. You can get salmonella from the water we drink. Most people get salmonella from the food and water that we drink, as you saw with the CDC explained. 94% of those people get it that way. The only way you're going to get it from a reptile is if you eating their shit, if you cleaning their shit, and you're not washing your hands. I mean, even then, that is how you can transport it. It doesn't mean that if you clean it and you don't wash your hands, which is disgusting, that you're going to get it. But that is how you can get it. So the chances of you getting it is just as equivalent to the chances of you getting it from drinking your water and eating your fried chicken or eating your baked chicken or going fishing like I do a lot and cutting up animals and not washing your hands. You can get it from things like that. But to say it as a common thing a snake can give you salmonella. I had no idea where that came from. But it's funny that people say it a lot. They only relate it to snakes and not the animals that really can give you salmonella. Let's see. ENT said reptile shows for next 3 weeks in Metro Atlanta. We are attending all of them. What's up? Y'all are dedicated to show up on Labor Day. We show up on every holiday. We show up on vacation. We show up everywhere. Hey, Jeremy. Good morning. Nothing going on around here, but waiting for a guy to come by. 6 chickens from me for 120. But where are you, Kara Shay? Yeah, so I think that this is definitely, it adds on to all of the other myths and all of the other reasons why people want to hate these animals or not like our animals or don't want our animals around, opposed to people who will really educate themselves as to where do salmonella really come from. And if you don't have reptiles, you are more prone to get salmonella from the regular day-to-day water and food that you eat than you are from any reptile that we keep or will bring to your school or will have the kids hold. Now, as reptile keepers, we are obsessed about making sure that our animals don't get certain germs. So you'll normally see us with hand sanitizers like yesterday around. You have to like put hand sanitizer on your hands before touching certain animals. Specifically, if you're going from like a boa to a berm or something like that, these are things we're going to make sure you do anyway. But we talk about that. We tell people, you're dealing with animals. You should make sure that you wash your hands before you eat. But, it's the chances are, when last time y'all heard somebody who died from salmonella or got sick from salmonella that they obtained from a reptile? Anyone? I've never heard of it. The sticker to avoid salmonella from your animals. No, but I mean, really, like, unless you literally look, Jeremy. That's the thing, Jeremy. You know how many people eat human booty and don't take do it whole fecal matter. In fact, that's one of the reasons why your stomach hurt when you got to poop, y'all. It's because it's literally poison to your body. And you have to excrete that poison. So that is literally fact. And all the bacteria that we inherit into our own intestines, and that's in our intestines now, the parasites in both of us right now at this moment should be a greater concern. But Jeremy, facts. I just speak that I love you, chickens. Let's see. I get so tired of misinformation about reptiles. It's strange though. You would think over the years that it gets better, but it just seems like it just gets like I've never heard growing up people having as much concern about salmonella from reptiles, which we were a whole lot more less educated then than now. But now you hear it all the time. Or people will try to use it, like I said, as a reason for not wanting to engage, but they won't put down the chicken either. Or, they'll scoop their dog's poop and eat. So people be doing nasty stuff. Yeah, I mean, that's really it. Like, unless the snake is urinating or actually not even urinating, unless they literally pooping, and you're touching it and putting it on a sandwich, there's no concern.
I'm honestly more concerned about my reptiles catching a respiratory than passing on salmonella to me.
And that's the thing. I think we worry more about what can make the animals sick than the animals make it us sick, because there's so many things. I was sharing that yesterday, like hearing, like even with explaining to people. T'Challa was so cute on her best cuteness yesterday. And so people were so surprised how when I would come near her, then she would, kind of follow where I was going. And it was like, oh my God, like she's literally following you. She knows who Mama is. If Michael came, she would follow Michael. But when you come, she gonna go back into the tub and hide. I said, the snake ain't stupid. And so if I walk over here and I know it, well, Michael's nowhere to be around, then that's when y'all see her going back into that tub, because that's where she's comfortable at. But she also knows that if she's out, we're protecting her from all elements. She knows this. She knows that she don't have no worries if we're around. And so I was saying, when you have an animal, like I told people, don't bring your animals. I don't play. Don't bring your dogs around. I will shoot your dog if it acts like it's going to do something to my animal. I will shoot. So this is the thing. It's one of the reasons why I won't even allow my dogs with my snakes, for example. Because at some point you would have to make a decision on which animal you're going to have to take out to protect them from each other or from killing each other or from one killing the other. So I just don't do it. But if we had a field like we were yesterday, I just told everybody don't bring your animals. Because if someone put a dog on there and the animals were out, they were having a good time. Pearl didn't want to come home. She was like, wait a minute, we leave? She wanted to stay with the people. She eats all of that up. She loves attention. But if you put a dog and that dog was approaching my animal and I tell you, get your dog, you only got one time for me to tell you to get your dog, I'm going to shoot your dog. So it's very important that, and the thing is, that's the only way I can protect my animal. Because I can't wrestle your dog. Because your dog is a danger to me and my animal. So now both of our lives are threatened. I'm going to protect them. So I always put those protocols. So thank you to everybody in church, who did not bring that one animal to the field. Thank you. I really appreciate you. And I mean, I'm talking about even people who were not in the event, like they did not bring animals to the field. And that's a field that people would, sometimes you'll see bringing their animals over. It's a huge field. It's a multiple fields there. So it's plenty of space. Dawn D said, blame the internet. There's misinformation out there about most parts of our lives. It's sad. That's true. That's true. Somebody was saying the other day, you have to read for yourself. Like you have to figure some things out for yourself, for sure. Because that's absolutely a fact. I see so many things that's misrepresented, not just out inside the reptile community sometimes. Even with the very same animals we keep, like I saw a post the other day where someone was showing the very same thing, how your reticulated python will follow you, or will follow the owner. Put it that way. They're human. And someone saying that the snake wasn't following. What the hell are you looking at? The snake is clearly, if this was a dog walking step by step behind the same person, you would clearly say the snake is following its own. I mean, the dog is following its owner. But you see a reptile doing it, it's impossible. We have to get past this narrow-minded thinking when it comes to reptiles. Because I can tell you, as a person who keeps these animals very, very intricately, that these animals will follow you. You hear me say it all the time. That's why I let the big ones out. They're not going to do any, too many crazy things. They're going to follow where I'm at, sit where I'm at. If I'm in the kitchen, it's going to find a spot in the kitchen. If I'm over here by the garage, it's going to find a spot by the garage. And it's going to let them come in the garage because that's where the big lizards are. And again, big lizards will bite your snake. They will definitely attempt to do that. So I don't do that. Joelle said, I saw on the news in Florida while iguanas was pooping in a pool. A little girl caught salmonella. I won't. Let me just tell you, Joelle, where I don't believe that is unless there was a non-chlorinated pool, she ain't get that from that water. We poop as humans. Babies poop feces in pools, and babies pee in pools all day long. You never hear people get salmonella. That's what chlorine does. That's what chlorinated water does. It protects against those bacteria that we all have. That's going to put in the water. Of course, it's Florida. Florida would say it's reptile related, period, because it's the bullshit state of Florida when it comes to reptiles. The fucked up state of Florida when it comes to reptiles. So they will make anything to sound related to the reptile. But no, if it's a pool and that pool was chlorinated, impossible.
Yeah, I actually just try to look that story up. When you look it up, nothing comes up, but everything that comes up is concerning food. And a lot of this is this year. 3 hospitalized with salmonella after eating raw flour. That was in August or April. Woman files lawsuit against Rose Acre Farms she got food poisoning. Pensacola mom files a lawsuit against a formula company. So this is stuff that we know. You're more inclined to get salmonella from improperly cooked food or raw food than from reptiles.
Absolutely. And we also know that there's a lot of times that we get ill and we will blame the animal, but it's actually person to person. I'll give you a perfect example. When COVID first came out, it was the disease that came from animals in China. If y'all can remember that was all we heard. A disease that came from animals in China, but animals in China wasn't dying. We were dying. So a lot of times I think what Dondi said, the news absolutely well, we see that with real stories. We see that when real things happen. When a snake really does accidentally suffocate someone, they don't give you the part of what the human did wrong. And that was something I talked about yesterday. When people ask me the question, can the snake choke you? It can. Depending on which one you're using. Yes, this reticulated python at 14 feet could choke you. Now, does it desire to do so? No. Can an accident happen? Yes. But that accident is normally not the result of the ill intent of the animal. It's the stupid intent or the uneducated or ignorant intent of the human. So it's one of the reasons why I say on anything that I do educationally, and I'll go ahead and repeat it on videos over and over because I don't know who's watching the last video to the next video. I do not anchor my large free ticks off of my neck. You never see it. You see me anchor them around my shoulder, around my back, around my thighs, around my butt, everywhere except for my neck because they anchor a lot. So let's say if T'Challa was on my neck, and she saw something that she wanted to get to really, really fast, and she goes for that, just a snap of her making that quick movement can inadvertently snap my neck. So we're not doing that. And it's something that people do every day, yes. Do they die? No. But it's that one time that it can happen that someone actually can die. So why take that risk? It's the person with the king cobra who won't use a goddamn hook. I believe you that you can pick up that king cobra. I believe you. But the fact that we know that if that snake bites you for any reason, that it is a life-threatening situation, it is a major medical situation, why even take the chance? I'm not saying that it's impossible. We know it's possible. I will say it all the time. I am convinced that Taco will never bite his owner. Convinced. But I can also tell you, and you heard it when I asked Dad the question the one time, are you prepared for that to happen? He said, no, I don't have anti-venom. But if it happened, I am willing to die. So this person will take that chance for the relationship that they have with that animal. So with that being said, the reality of it is we should do smart things. Good morning, bro. We definitely should be doing smart things when it comes to these animals, and not cleaning your hands in between. Again, like Dre said, I clean my hands because I'm concerned about one snake being infected with something and cross-contaminating the other snake. I'm not even thinking about myself at this particular point. It's the least of my concern of me getting salmonella directly from my animals. I do believe, and some people don't believe this, I do believe that your animal should be bathed occasionally, even ball pythons. A lot of people don't believe in that. Well, I'm a believer of that. I soak my ball pythons once a month. I give them moisture and a little bit of dish soap just to make sure that there is no fecal matters or urine that's built up and calcifying under their skin. I do it. My retics are bathed all the time. Because when they poop and pee, they need to be bathed. I don't care what nobody said. It's one of the reasons why I'm not a fan of bioactive enclosures for them. I am not convinced how bioactive you make your enclosure that your reticulated python is not living in. And let me say this. Bioactive is what they will be living in the wild. But again, my animals were birthed in captivity. They never lived in the wild. So for me, sterile environments is always going to be what I desire. I think that animals definitely can thrive in bioactive enclosures, but when I look at how much my retics poop and pee, Just the thought of me putting them back into an enclosure with even remnants, like them isopods ain't eating that shit that fast. It's a hard sell for me. To each his own, but that's just never going to be a thought process for me for that same reason, because I do believe that amount of fecal matter, and you're going in and you're handling an animal that's on your hands and you're not conscious of that, and you can get, think about salmonella, you can get just regular bacterial infections from doing things like that. Like, we shouldn't have poop in our mouths at all times. Eli is no school today. That's right. Ergo grandkids. And my grandkids conned me, y'all. I was supposed to have a whole day out with my girlfriends yesterday, but I was in Baltimore, their hometown, when I did the event. So they, of course, came to the field and made their way back in my car somehow. And so they're here. But I'm going to get them home early enough to get prepared for school. I'm more afraid of people dropping my reptiles out of fear while holding them than I am them biting them.
I'm going to jail. I'm going to jail.
Yes, Paul. What do you want?
I'm very cautious of who I even let hold my reptiles. If you're too scared, it's not gonna happen. It is not gonna happen.
Not right now, baby. I'm more afraid of goddamn. Charlie said, Charlie was saying, hey, Keys. Keys shouting out Orlando, which I just love that house. Every time that they post pictures, it just makes me want to it's amazing. Just the difference, like I would say, state to state. But Ohio was like that. When I moved to Ohio, the cost of living in Ohio was so different that the same thing we paid here was just so different living in Ohio. It's like living in Tiffany Lakes back in 2005.
Tiffany Lakes is expensive.
Man. I love Tiffany Lakes, and I could live there in 2005.
Man.
When I moved to Ohio. That's to me one of the best communities that I ever actually lived in. I ain't gonna lie. I loved it.
Yeah, their cheapest apartment is like $1,500 now.
I loved it. I think I paid for it's so crazy. I bought I think it was a 3-bedroom townhouse there. And it was the one that was on the lake. Like literally, we used to watch the deer come drink the water and everything. Fireplaces and everything. I think we paid for the 3-bedroom them $1,170.
Yeah.
And that coming from here was paying like $1,800 at that time. So it was like a $700 difference, way more house.
Yeah, you're gonna pay about for that unit, you're probably gonna pay like a good $21 now.
Yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure. Cost of living changed, like even in Florida. Like the cost of living in Florida, when we started buying properties there, it was crazy. When I was there last year and I was down there for work, and I'm like, golly, like there are prices down here, which is the DC area prices. I'm like, that's insane. That's insane for Florida. Fact, when I got my tick bite, every immediately blamed my indoor dog when I clearly got it while sitting outside the public pool where they clearly don't treat the grass that's around the pool. Exactly. Let me check. Oh, that's not. Hold on. Let me look over here. Because I got to do it from the other screen. Because I'll mess it up trying to do it from there. I got it. I'll do it. Animals get blamed for everything. They do, including stupid human mistakes or intentional human mistakes. Lady Tears, y'all should come visit. We will roll out the red. I told you, look. I told you when I come, we coming. That's what he's saying. You got everything I need. You got the whole back, the exterior, the patio with the nice yard and deck set up. You got the incredible bar, fully loaded, y'all. Fully loaded. So you got to go to the bar, go right downstairs. I'm assuming it's at the bar downstairs and drink up. Space, animals. The driveway is like you can land a helicopter. Y'all, I'm not lying. This is a beautiful home. And it's only got TV. Orlando, but shout out. They work hard. Orlando said, look, bitch, I be going 5 days a week to make sure this crib is laid. Nice to have the day off and be able to catch the show. Ken, I believe you, Ken, when you being in the chat all the time. Always nice to have a day off. Let me go here. Oh, here we go. Oh, Ken blue. Oh, you know, Ken is blue for reptiles and cocktails. Ken is not blue for 2Ps. I got you, Ken. Done. Anybody else? I'll get you too. Let's see. Those rescue kids are home. I know you've been busy and not seen them yet. I saw one picture and then maybe in the message. Oh, Keys, I am. Look, y'all think I'm playing. Look, I'm gonna roll up. I'm gonna roll up in the driveway.
I know this girl ain't got no sense.
Keys, I can stay there. Ain't no need to go nowhere. He got everything we need in the walls of the home. It's plenty of space. I don't feel claustrophobic. I don't feel like it's a beautiful home, y'all. I can't lie. It's gorgeous. And every time he posts it, it looks fake. So it looks like the one of the filters, the what you call it, the backgrounds on like a StreamYard or something like that. Is that clean? The house is that damn clean. The animal setup is that clean. Come on. Yes, Ken, you had on the other one. So yeah, so the other thing is that when we did there's been so many people reaching out from that one event on Saturday wanting us to do more. And so the season for me changed because I don't take the animals out at all. Let's say if they go to a vet or something like that, they're not going out in the winter time. And not even just the winter, like once the fall really kick in for Maryland, where the temperatures start to dip into the 70s, they don't go out at all. Okay. I don't get to go out. I don't go out with them at all. But I definitely, Skylar, what are you doing? Let's see. It says, yeah, message me before I went to get them. They are wonderful. Got a little work to get them back to good. Got you. So speaking of that, I've seen a couple people who have bought baby reticulated pythons specifically that have passed away all of a sudden. And just be conscious, y'all, of purchasing animals that are not old enough to be shipped to you. I'm really big. I'm really big on even ball pythons having at least 6 to 8 meals. They definitely have to be over that with ball pythons over that 100-gram mark before I would even consider shipping. But with reticulated pythons, they have to be over that 300-gram mark for me. And before I would even consider shipping, they have to be able to show proof that they are regularly digesting live and frozen thaw. You can get whatever you want when you get there, but for me, I want them to be able to do both. And I think also a lot of times when animals, not just with any reptile, pass away suddenly, it's normally something that is developmental, and no one can guarantee you that there's nothing developmental happening. But the longer that owner, that breeder keeps that animal, I feel more confident. That breeder should feel more confident that that animal has had plenty of meals, digested plenty of meals, and it's not anything internal that's causing a problem. And it also gets you to view and see behavior more. Like I watch the behavior of those animals constantly. That's why I send y'all videos and stuff like that too, because I like people to see especially if you put down a deposit and I'm holding them, how your animal is developing. Because like I said, I'm going to feed them. I'm not going to not feed your animal. So they're going to be developing. They're going to be getting bigger. And I want people to see, you know, the animal that they purchase is a little bit bigger now, and the fact that how it's growing. Because one of the beauties of that too, they also go through these color changes, you know, where their colors become more vibrant, more mutated. And it's just a, you know, a blessing. But it's sad to see people purchase animals, and some of these animals I've seen when you purchase them, to be honest. And I'm like, oh, that seemed like a little too soon. And I just say, so if you're breeding animals and you have so many that you can't hold them 6 to 8 weeks, stop breeding animals. Like if you don't have no room that you got to let them hatch and then feed them up one meal and ship them, stop breeding animals. Stop. Like, and honestly, on this whole breeding tip, like I just see it a lot, like where, and not in the ball python community, because you know, ball pythons are ball pythons. They're just so much more easier to attend to. But there's so many people like who are desperately rushing the sale of an animal because they need the space. That is a sign that you need to stop breeding. It's a sign. As tempting as it is, and I was saying this to Morgan and them the other day, all these animals who are cycling, it is so tempting to breed them. But I refuse when I still have child babies that I'm looking for responsible homes for. I refuse. And I decided that my pattern, because of course, whenever I do a local show, the people buy retails like crazy. I guess because they can see them, they can hold them. But I think for me, because I'm not going to be doing shows every month, probably every other month, because I do like doing them, I'm not going to lie. Once a reticulated python clutch once every year for me is good. It's good. And because I can be patient with finding the right keepers for them as well. That's been a huge topic lately because people are shipping ball pythons super small. People rushing to sale and empty their racks. No baby should be shipped under. I agree. And not just the gram thing, Elias. I think sometimes too when I'm talking about the behavior, if you notice that it's over 100 grams, but maybe it doesn't quite fully like, you know, growing ball pythons, you know, babies will act one way, and then as they start to eat, they start to develop their own little personalities. Like if you see them delayed in development, period, you should hold them a little longer. So I totally agree on that. Like I don't even use the pre-established market or morph market. Like I think it's a great tool to use, especially if you're producing a lot of animals that people, you know, like say for instance, if you produce the damn sunset, you know what I'm saying? Like, and everybody wants them. I can see you selling those pre-established, but they're pre-established, you're still responsible for establishing them. I do get that, but like for me, I'm not in that situation where I don't have that much space, especially for ball pythons. I got plenty of space for ball pythons. It's the retics that I don't have 200 drawers for. I don't want 200 retic babies in here. I got the adults to play with. Bosa, good morning, Bosa. Hey, Ken. How are you? Y'all make sure that you are supporting Ken's channel as well. Ken, you've been having some really good shows lately too. Somehow I got back up there. You got baby girl. Fact 100 and Cody Elias. Yeah. I don't know. I just think, especially with ball pythons, they are much easier to house until they're ready. There's no need to rush these animals. Shoot, I think my biggest part is not rushing them. My biggest part, y'all, what I struggle with is that, like, literally the animal I'm shipping on Wednesday, I have grown so attached to that Dre, I'm gonna cry again. Like even now, like he looks at me like he knows he's about to be shipped. Beautiful animal, and the person that I sold him to, I don't have a direct contact with. Like he's literally someone who found the animal in Morph Market. We have built a rapport, you know, through chat and stuff like that. But I don't know the person, and so it's like, oh, that's the hardest part. So that's why you don't even see some of the retakes posted on Morph Market because I haven't like my heart has separated from him yet. So I'm in no hurry. Here's the one that's available now. I'll post them when I get a chance.
She ain't lying. I
So
still got the video of her crying, holding the one I got from her.
the first three, so it was really hard. I hadn't matured past the letting them go thing. But the last one that I shipped, I was okay. Like I was okay. Then this one is like, oh no, he's so beautiful. I don't want to ship you. But he's ready. He's about to go. It said out shipping weight at 125. I want to know they are good to go. Thanks. Yeah, I mean, because that's the thing. Like I would rather for the animal to die in my care. And normally, if that's going to happen, it's going to happen in those first 6 to 8 weeks. Hold on one second. Yeah. I tell you. Let's see. Hey, Rock, how are you? We're only doing 2 to 4 clutches a year. Ain't nobody missing meals, and we're prepared to keep all if necessary. Gotta be responsible. Fact. Although there's a lot of space. You got to early. They have a bunch of ball python rats in there. Boar rats, three-tip rats, king snake rats. Let's see. Oh, you're so very welcome. You are so very welcome. Yeah. Also, this reminder to I think it's September 9th this weekend. I won't be able to watch because I'll be doing the show. But the whole back rag is doing a auction for Sam Gomez. So if you guys can tap into that, support that. I'm sure you'll find some nice animals up for sale. There, I know a lot of our elite breeders have donated animals to that event as well. I'm gonna try to peek in as much as I can. But like I said, we'll be actively doing the show. And normally when we're doing the show, it's constant. It's constant. So I may not see it, but I'll catch the replay. But for those of you who can definitely support. Went to a reptile show recently. One table had 2 baby ball pythons on the table that looked like baby king snakes. Wow, no meat, their bones should have never been there. Yeah, I don't know why people do that. Another thing, it seems to me that like the show promoters would like regulate that, that because I know when we do shows, the promoters normally come to every table, look at the animals just to see what you have and have conversation. But I'm sure they're also inspecting, And I just think that the show promoters should. What I do is we even take a scale with us. So when we sell an animal, we put that baby on the scale and this is where it's at right now. We list the original birth date. I can tell you what it's eating, how many lives it's eaten, how many frozen thawed it's eating. Just different things like that. But it takes time for you to keep the animal in your care and document that stuff. Like you can't document that in 2 weeks, in my opinion. And then all animals don't grow the same. Hey, Lakers, all animals don't develop the same, right? So I have ball pythons that were born on the exact same day, but depending on when they start to eat, one is 150 grams, the other one might just be hitting 100, but they born in the same exact clutch. Some are born in the same exact clutch, and one might be 72 grams and the other one might be 60 grams. So they already is a deficit in, like they don't come out all out the same and the clutch the same exact size. So it's just like unfortunate. I just think that, when we talk about doing things ethically, I think it's even for the animal. You have an animal, and this is how my mind thinks, y'all, because I don't know. I keep telling you I think I was an animal in the other life. You have an animal who is new to this world, just adjusting to just being an animal in this world. And then you quickly take them from one transition to another. So they already got used to the airspace they're in. And then we so quickly take them to another airspace. I don't think that has to be stressful on an animal, and that could also cause sudden death in animals, I believe. Animals definitely could die from a stress factor. But yeah, Dre, you got anything else for today?
I don't.
All right, so that will be a wrap for today. What I will do is I'll let you guys know it will be a pre-recorded Reptiles and Cocktails because I'll be doing the show, but I have 2 possible people who that might be. I'll determine which one I'll actually put out this Wednesday, so you guys will know on Wednesday. But until then, everybody have an incredible week. Do what you do what you love. Remember, as I said in the beginning, protect your mental health, protect your mental awareness. Don't think that you are above having a breakdown. Nobody is above having a breakdown, guys. And I don't want any of you being the ones who break down so much that you get to a point where you're harming yourself or others. It's happening. And if you can Google some of these recent situations, like I said, even a situation that just happened in my neighborhood last week, very sad. These are regular people. These are not people hooked on drugs. These are people who had lucrative careers, people who have beautiful homes, and people who otherwise should be what we think stable in their mindset because they look and appear, and I say appear to have a stable life. Y'all check in, I'm sure that somewhere somebody cannot believe that man killed his wife and his son the other day. I'm sure there are people who served with him who were saved lives. I'm sure there's people who work with him or people in their family who said he was an amazing husband of 20 plus years. Like, to be married 20 plus years and then just take the lot, like, that's just a lot. And I'm not saying that it's justified mental illness, but I will say you got to be crazy out your mind to kill your wife of 20 plus years and your son who you named a junior. That is not something that a person in their right frame of mind can do. To me, that's an impossible. You have to be somewhat out your mind to even pull that trigger. The people who are killing their babies, some people, like some of these, a husband who loves his family might find that, when he can't provide them for them anymore, that death is better for him and his family. That's people's way of thinking, that I can't be so less of a man that I can't feed my family, that I'm not fit to be here. People think like that, guys. And so we just got to be conscious of that. And you got to be conscious of that. I got to be conscious of that. You have to be willing to say no and not be available to other people. You have to show up and be available for your damn self first. If your cup is not running over, you cannot let somebody else drink up your cup. You can't. You can't. You have to. They say put the oxygen on yourself first. You have to do that. You have to do that in order to be able to help the next person. So until Saturday, peace. Love you all and have an amazing week. Thank you.
Have a good week, everybody.
Share the live, and we'll see you soon. Oh, Elijah said I'll be on Celtic Ball Show tonight. Okay. So Elijah is going to be on with Angie and Jeff tonight. So make sure y'all check that out. Celtic Balls. What time, Elijah? I think that's at. I think they switched that time slot. Just go to Celtic Balls. Make sure that you set the notification and make sure we show up in the chat. Support Elias on Celtic Balls tonight. Peace.